Number चालू है.
You need to. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Nitin sir.
You're not audible.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is it audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Right?
Clear.
Okay. So we have close to 33 startups, like founders and co-founders in this room. We also have one of our speaker, Jatin Kataria, who has taken morning session. You might be knowing. He's also here. And to brief you about Nitin sir, we got connected last couple of months and he was here for a second. Been actively involved with IP startups. So thank you very much, Nitin sir, for giving us your precious time. Nitin Mistry is an experienced engineering graduate with over 40 years of experience in executive leadership, customer support, sales, marketing, manufacturing, operations. A thoughtful leader and mentor. He has coached over 200 plus individuals and 50 startup entrepreneurs. As an ICF certified life and executive coach, he has helped transform African startups as a Stanford seed consultant since 2020. Recognized by Silicon India as one of India's top coaches, he has co-authored Coach Wisdom and Entrepreneurial Blueprint and produced 24 episodes of Startup Challenges podcast, sharing his expertise with aspiring entrepreneurs. So once again, a very, very warm welcome, sir. Can we hear?
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you, sir. So it's over to you. Thank you.
Good. I think you all are at iCreate. So basically, you are an aspiring entrepreneur and you have a very solid or great ideas, and you want your startup or your venture to take place in a very great way and become a successful startup. But sometimes the idea alone cannot be enough. You need a great amount of execution, and execution requires a great amount of planning. And today, what we are going to discuss that whether the company or the organization is big or a small, they need a planning and they need a kind of business plan. I work with a lot of startup companies, even the company who are 3 or 4 years old. They find it is very difficult to work on this business canvas model. So I have devised or I have made it so simple that even a new entrepreneur or maybe a just fresh MBA candidate who comes out and if he wants to start his own startup, uh, he will understand the business model canvas very nicely and then he can implement into his ideas. So today, this could be kind of an interactive section. I'm not going to just give a lecture or a session on a business model canvas, but we will co-create. That means we will create together, right? Maybe a little bit virtual, so we may not have enough interaction. Maybe at the end of a session, we will have a question and answer session. But I want every one of you to have a notebook, and we will have a notebook in a landscape orientation, and we will one by one, uh, we'll co-create a business model with their building blocks, right? So I will start my sharing my screen, right? Have you seen? I mean, is it possible? No?
No, not yet, sir.
Wait. How do I share? I mean, it's
Just a second. Let me call Bhavish.
No.
Okay, now we
Is
can
this
see.
okay now? Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I was clicking at the wrong thing. Right.
perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it visible now?
Yep.
Yes, yes,
Yes, yes.
visible.
And you get a full screen, right?
Yep.
Hello.
Sir, am I audible? Sir, दिख रहा है?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
दिख रहा है ना?
हाँ जी.
हाँ. Okay. So, I think today is the second day of our week-long program, and I'm pleased to see everyone's positive reaction and post on LinkedIn about the first day. Uh, and I think you will have many sessions planned in this week to cover all areas of starting a business, which I'm sure it will be very useful for you. So today I'll talk about an important topic called the business model canvas. And this tool will help us to look at the key parts of your business and understand how they work together. So before getting into the subject, let me start with a very informal talk. Uh, Many of you are here at iCreate and you have all fantastic business ideas. And that's why we all are here today. And you want to turn those ideas into a successful business. However, just great idea alone sufficient is not sufficient to get a success in a business. Execution is required. But the question remains, how do you execute effectively? Uh, the answer lies that you do a meticulous planning. So you need to plan and organize every step to make your idea work, right? So have you wondered how successful business like Uber or Airbnb they have begun with just a simple idea and transform into a global giants? Well, they have done this all possible through a business model canvas. So I will share a very small story, which is the real story about one tea joint in a very busy city of Mumbai near Hiranandani in Powai area. So at a later stage, when we come to that level of value proposition, I will share that story, right? So now let's explore how the BMC is a short form of business model canvas, how it will help us to map out our transformation of business, right? So, suppose imagine you are building a house. Would you start without a blueprint or a drawing or architectural drawing? No, never. So, similarly, a business, when you do a launching, without business model canvas, it is like a building or a house without a plan. So, most people think that great business start with a groundbreaking product or a service. But if I have to tell, the success of this business often hinges on something which is less visible and but equally crucial, and that is nothing but a business model canvas, right? So I go to my next slide. This is I think Madam has already given my introduction. I'm a business coach and a startup mentor. Uh, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can follow me there on Instagram also, right? So let's work on the business model canvas. Uh, it is basically what? It is a plan for the successful business operation, identifying sources of revenue and the target customer whom your organization is going to serve, and what product or service you are going to offer to your customers, and what value your customer will derive out of your product or your service. So a business model is a kind of a plan describing how a business intend to make money, right? Uh, it explains who is your customer and how you deliver value to them and how they pay back in terms of the value, in terms of money. Suppose like if you say a mechanic or a garage mechanic who is in the business of changing the gearbox oil for the vehicle. So in that kind of example, who are your customer? A vehicle owner. Whether all vehicle owners are their customer? Not necessary. Maybe 20% or 30% of the vehicle owners of the city will become his customer. So that means rest of the 80% of vehicle owners either get it done by themselves or they will go to another garage. Now, why 20% vehicle owners opt for the oil change services? If you try to ask this question to ourselves, that could be because of not having proper tools or not having enough knowledge how to do that, or could be because they don't have enough time to do so, or could be because they feel that work is little filthy, or could be because they don't know how to recycle the used oil after changing, and maybe they don't want to get into that kind of hassles, right? So they feel that the mechanic or the garage who charges for change of oil is quite reasonable as compared to the hassle of changing oil by themselves. So in short, the garage owner receives the money in the exchange of oil change, and that is the job, get it done. So that means in any of the business, you have to get it done a job for the customer, and in turn, customer will pay you. And that is the way the money comes to your business, right? The business model canvas will define these different components on a single page. That means it is a one page kind of a map or a one page kind of a presentation where you understand the all the business blocks, business building blocks, and the interconnection between them, right? Now, suppose organization structure. This is a very ideal example. Suppose if someone asks you, how is your organization looks like and how many managers you have or how many departments you have or how do you communicate inter-department? So what you will do, yeah, this is my organization structure. It will describe about the organization. It describe about the people, what kind of managers, what are the inter-department, how the hierarchy is that. I think same is true for the business also. If you have to describe what your business is all about, the one page business model canvas can give all the information about your business. So this is how the necessity, the importance of the business model canvas, right? So this is a this is one we call as a triangle theory or triangle theory of the business model. In the center is a customer. That means who is your customer? Then what value you are giving, that means what you are delivering in terms of value to your customer, how you are doing, and what value customer give you in return, right? So it can be used to explain the business concept of I mean, this business model canvas you can pitch to your investors or even your business partners or sometimes even a team members, so they can easily understand and visually, you know, it will represent in visually appealing manner. So when you start a business, it can feel like you are embarking on a journey without a clear path ahead. So business model canvas is something like a GPS. It providing you a map to give you a thorough uh, it can provide you a through path from each stages of business growth. So by breaking down your business into 9 simple blocks, it allows you to visualize how every decision impact your bottom line and ensure that your business is built on a strong foundation, right? So basically, we call business model is a kind of strategic tool, right? And it lets you visualize and assess your business idea or a concept. Uh, the question may arise why we need to use business model. Why? Maybe it is first reason is it is very easy to understand. It is quite focused. It is also flexible. That means offer great amount of flexibility that you will come to know once we start discussing about the business model. Then it is customer centric. That means it is focused on customer. It shows the interconnection between key drivers of business, and it is easy for communication with customers, investors, or your team members. It is a kind of one-page document containing 9 boxes that represent different fundamental elements of a business. So business model is how company creates a value for itself while delivering product or services for the customers. Now, before we actually go into business model, it is important that we mention a little bit about the design thinking, right? So this model design thinking, they say that innovation happens at the intersection of desirability, feasibility, and viability, right? So what it is actually, design thinking brings together what is desirable from human point of view and what is feasible from the technology point of view and what is economically viable. So if we have to represent this in the form of a Venn diagram, so it is like this. It is the desirability, it is the feasibility, and it is the viability. And this is how the innovation take place. Now, this Venn diagram right now may not make much sense, but when we finish the entire business model canvas, then we will come back to this Venn diagram. For the business model canvas, we have to little bit tweak. Suppose is this diagram is that desirability is nothing but our customer. That means what customer desire. Feasibility means how we deliver, and viability means how economically viable this, right? So remember this diagram. We will come back to this diagram at the end of the business model canvas. Now, this is how the business model canvas concept is. Uh, there are 9 blocks. Uh, we call there are 3 sides. One is a right hand side, another is a left hand side, and center. Right side is called as a customer side, and the left side is known as business side. And between business and a customer, the value proposition is nothing but exchange of the values, right? So our business model will look like this. Now, when you make your in notebook, you can have the idea this will be our business model. So we will create each business blocks one by one. So this is how the business model will look like. This is the block number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, right? So this will be the layout of this. Now let's see 9 building blocks. What will be our first block will be a customer. It's called as a customer segment. So for any business or any enterprise to survive or to exist, the customer is very essential. Customer is necessary. No business can exist for a long without a paid customers, right? So in the business, there are two kind of customers. One is a paying customer. Another is non-paying customer. Suppose if you go to a Facebook kind of business model where, yeah, as a Facebook user, we don't pay, but the people who advertise on the Facebook, they pay. So they are the paying customers. What we are user, non-paying customers, right? So this is a customer. Now the customers will have a different kind of customer, have a different values, distribution channels, and different kind of relation with your business, right? All customer will not pay, and business can earn far more from one customer group to the other customer group. Like consider a Reliance Jio, right? A major telecom operator, he earns significantly from its urban customers who opt for, say, higher data plans or additional services like streaming and international calling or the higher speed internet, that kind of thing, compared to the rural customers who may primarily subscribe only for maybe a voice call services or maybe minimum data. So as a customer, you need to know who are your major customer, who is your most important customers, and if we have to make, this is the first block of our business model. So when you make it, this is the first block. So let's create a business model by ourselves. Uh, the we have a two type of customer segments. One could be a mass market and other can be a niche market, right? What is mass market? Suppose if I consider a simple cell phone, right? Irrespective of the people, I mean, there is a mass who will buy cell phone. There is no specific requirement. There will not be any specific, uh, expectation out of this is a phone only for making a call. So that is a mass market where the business model focuses only on providing a equipment or a product, right? But suppose if you go to a niche market, right? Suppose I want a athlete, maybe running shoes or maybe sport shoes, then it become a niche market. So you don't buy a normal shoes, but that become a niche market of this. Suppose if I go for a niche market, a smartphone, then if we go little deeper in the niche market, then we have a tech enthusiastic people, we have a budget conscious users, then we have a business professionals, and then we can have a students or users. Now let's see what tech enthusiasts will look into it. Now tech enthusiasts will look for the latest technology, maybe prioritizing on cutting edge features like high performance or high processors, high processing speed, advanced camera systems, or maybe different kind of display technologies. So they value phone with a robust specification. So maybe they want to play games, so it can handle gaming or augmented reality or other intensive application, right? Suppose if you go to next budget conscious users, so those people will be focused on mainly on affordability without compromising the required features. So they look for smartphone that offer perhaps a good battery life, decent performance, and functional camera and cost-effective price. Right. So that is a different. That means this segment of the market, the customer has a different requirement. If you go to a business kind of people, so business professional will need smartphone that enhances the productivity or connectivity, or they prefer devices with feature like enhanced security or robust email and scheduling capabilities, or maybe seamless integration with business software, or high quality of video conferencing. Those are the requirement of the business professional. And suppose if I talk about the students or maybe young users, so they will look more for the social media capabilities, maybe the style, multimedia features. They look for smartphone with good cameras, maybe a trendy design, and access to a social networking and entertainment applications with a very reasonable price content. So these four customers, though the smartphone, the product remain one, but each segment of the customer has a different needs. So this is what a segmented based customers, right? Now, multi-sided market customers. That means what? Suppose if I take the example of credit cards, so they have a two kind of people, customers. One, the credit card holders who are going to use it, and there are the merchants who are going to accept the credit card. So credit card supplier or credit card makers, they have a two kind of customers. So we call as a multi-sided customers, right? So this is the customer segment. Now we go to the next one. Oh, sorry, right. I forgot. There is a distribution channel. Suppose this is the second block of the our business model canvas. Distribution means how you create awareness of product or service. How do you reach your potential customer? Then how you enable your customer to purchase your product or service, and how you are going to deliver the value to the customers. And after purchase, that is post purchase, how are you going to provide a self service support? So these are the distribution channels. How are you reaching to them, customers? How you create awareness? How customer will come to know about your product and service, right? So there are two types of channels. One is a own channel. That means you have your own website or you have your own social media sites or you have in-house sales and service network or customer care division. And other is you partner with another channels. That means a partner own websites or marketplace or wholesale distribution or retail network or distributors, right? So this is the channel. So these become a second block of our 9 block business model canvas. So now we connect the block number 2, which represent the distribution channel, and we connect as shown in the figure, right? Now we go to the third one. Third one is revenue system. So basic objective is how does the money come from in your business? What strategy you will use to capture the most value from your customers, right? So you have to figure out what value or price your customer is willing to pay for the product or service, and what is the preferred way of payment by the customers, right? So that is how the revenue stream comes into the picture. So what value your customer is willing to pay, how they prefer to pay, and how much does every revenue stream contribute to the overall revenue of this, right? So what are the revenue streams? One is a transaction based. That means you buy a product, one time product and one time payment. So you buy it and you pay it. It's a one time payment. Another is a recurring kind of payment. That means uh, it's like a subscription kind of thing. That means you keep on paying recurring. That means ongoing payments for service continuation or post-sale service continuation, or maybe you buy a AMC or a service contract. So that kind of is a recurring revenue. So the revenue block will come like this bottom. That is the third one, right? Now next block will be customer relationship. Customer relation is in short, it is all about how do you get your customer, how you keep your customers, and how do you grow your customers, right? So primary purpose of customer relationship is to acquire a new customers, to retain existing customers, and to derive maximum revenue from existing customers, right? So what kind of relationship we can think of, right? So one is personal assistance, right? That means direct interaction between the customer and the company through human contact. So that is one kind of relation you have with your customer. Then you have a dedicated personal assistant. That means a more exclusive one-on-one relationship where a sales representative specifically serve as an serve to an individual client. So that is a dedicated personal assistant. Then self-service. Uh, it is like a customers independently use services or product without any company's assistance or interaction, right? Then another one is automated service. You find many places where you dial and then you say press 1, press 2, and those kind of things. So these are the system automatically handle customer interaction using technology or to give a personalized user experience. Then there are communities. That means the people who write reviews, the people who write opinion about the product. So it user communities to connect and help users and assist each other. That means the people who are uh, using similar kind of product, they will assist. Suppose somebody has some issue, some problem, or some kind of difficulty. So the community will solve that problem, right? And there is a co-creation. Co-creation means, suppose if I'm making a specialized or customized software for some customers, so I will work with their design people. And that means customers will actively involve during the creation or the development of the software or a service, and they will work together. So that is called as a co-creation kind of thing. So these are a different way you create a customer relationship, right? So now we connect the block number 4, which is a customer relationship, is like this. correct? So now suppose if we go back to our concept of business model, we call as a RHS is the customer side, LHS is the business side, and in the center we have value what we are going to deliver, right? So now we have arranged the four blocks on the customer side: customer segment, then channels, distribution channels, customer relations, and revenue streams, right? Correct? Before I go further, anybody has any specific questions or nothing, something which is not clear?
No, that's fine, sir.
Okay, fine. Now we look at the left hand side. But before that, we will go to a center portion, which was very important for us, is value proposition, where the actual value exchange is taking place between a business and the customers, right? So value proposition. Uh, Creating a value for customer at reasonable cost. Now people will ask actually, or you may have a question, what are the values? One could be a convenience. That means the example of this could be online grocery store or online grocery delivery. Price saving, maybe some application give you a free video calling facility, so that is a price saving kind of thing. uh, Maybe a design features. All Apple products are very nicely designed, so we feel all about the Apple products which is designed. That is a value proposition Apple product gives. Maybe a brand image also. uh, then cost reduction for customer. That means instead of cloud servicing you on having, maybe you can have a lease server, so that is again a cost reduction. Then could be risk reduction. That means before you start any business, maybe you go through a research report or you go through a survey reports or maybe market trends, and that will give you an idea. So, for any kind of business you get into it, so the less risk is involved because you have already made a survey or survey has already given you what is the business trend, how the customer trend is going on. So this is the kind of a value addition which you can deliver to your customer, right? So what I said is the same. What core value we are going to give it to customer, and what customer problem we are going to solve, and what product or service we are offering to the customer to solve their problems, and are our customer happy or satisfied? This is the tangible and intangible, right? But the value proposition itself is a very involved kind of things. Suppose if you have to little go deeper into it, so this is the customer profile, right? The customer profile is defined by three major blocks, and each aim at understanding and addressing the customer needs. The first one, the customer job. This is the customer job. This describe what tasks the customers are trying to complete, the problems they are trying to solve, or the need they wish to satisfy. So it includes, can be a functional, can be a social, or can be an emotional jobs, right? Then what are their pain points, right? So pain point means it identifies the negative experiences or any kind of obstacles or the difficulty they are facing, or some kind of risk that customers face, or maybe they worry about trying to accomplish certain jobs and they feel that it is little risky or this is not worth trying. So these are their customer pain points, right? Then what are their gains actually? The customer gain could be uh, the benefits what customer derive or what it seeks, the positive outcomes they expect from the feature of the product what they use or the service they use it, or some kind of bonus, something more than a satisfaction. That means customer delight. That means whatever the standard features or standard things are available, that is fine. That serves my job. That can I can function whatever task I want to carry out, but something more than that. So that is nothing but a customer gains. So this is this is value proposition part from the customer end. Now, suppose if I want to go from the business side, right? So business side is what? The product and services, what you offer, right? Then the pain relievers. So pain relievers, nothing but, the product or services which try to ruled out or solve the customer problem or difficulties. So this is only a pain reliever. That means they have a difficulty, they have issues. Your product, your service, you design in such a way that they solve the problem. But the most important is the gain creators. That means apart from solving the problem or the issue what they have, what your product or what your service can do anything extra into that. So it enhances the customer experience, or it delivers something more than expected, or it's going beyond solving the basic needs of the problem. So the value proposition is the component of two things. One is the customer profile, and another is the value proposition from the manufacturer or the supplier point of view. If we combine these two together, right? That means when you combine the customer profile and value proposition, you make sure your product and service exactly match what your customers need and what your customer want. This fit makes your offering more appealing, and it helps to solve customers' problems, and it can provide them extra benefits, or making them happy, or making them a loyal customer. That means they come back to you again and again, right? Now, I have a very interesting, very practical and realistic example. Uh, there is one tea joint, or rather say tea place in Mumbai, in Hiranandani place in Powai, right? So he offer a very authentic traditional masala tea, right? And suppose whatever way we talk, if we talk in our technical terms, what is his value proposition? He says you enjoy the authentic taste of traditional masala tea in a peaceful sit out. That is his value proposition, right? And what is this site? It is in Mumbai, in Hiranandani area, one of the premium business place where he serves an excellent masala tea in a very cozy, peaceful, nursery kind of ambience with free Wi-Fi, right? Free Wi-Fi is very high-speed Wi-Fi. So it is ideal for making video calls, right? What is his promises? He says he will supply you authentic taste. That means it delivers high quality, traditionally prepared masala tea with perfect blend of spices, right? Then it provides very serene sitting. The shop provides a very peaceful, a very cozy environment where customer can relax, work, or if they want to socialize. So some people come there and they read books, they do some kind of creating writing over here, they listen to the music, right? So this thing, these promises or this value proposition attracts hundreds of coffee or office goers in that area, and who value both. That means the quality of masala tea and relaxing atmosphere. So that makes this tea shop is very preferred place, or go-to kind of place for a tea break, right? Now here, one thing you try to suppose when you are starting a business, I want to tell you one sentence which you can memorize or we can remember, or if you want, you can write, is a kind of mantra for your business. See, the less known your company is, that means the less known your business or company is, the better your value proposition need to be. That means if you are not well known, then what should be very good? Your business value proposition has to be absolutely better. Then only the things work. So now, while delivering value proposition to these customers, I would say that you should know the language of the customers. That means you are offering something to to customers, but how customer understand, how customer perceives this, how he describe and perceive your offering, and how he understand that he derive a benefit out of it. See, let's see how what we mean by speaking customer language. Suppose in this example, if the tea shop owner has promised to offer a good quality masala chai with comfortable ambience, right? Now, every afternoon, number of office goers visit this tea shop, and they have their favorite masala tea. But every person who walks in, he perceives this tea joint in a very unique way, right? Uh, some of them like this authentic aromatic flavor that reminds them of their mother or grandmother's homemade tea. That is their perceiving about the tea joint. Maybe a calm and cozy sitting arrangement make it a perfect spot for them to read some books or catch up with some friends or socialize. So people think that for me, my unique value proposition, I feel, is a very calm and cozy sitting place, right? So we can say the offering of the tea shop is getting aligned with the thought which is going in customer mind. And this is what we call as speaking the customer language. That means your value proposition speaks your customer language. So how you talk about your product or service is often quite different from how customer perceive it from their angle. So this is very important aspect of business. So when you're working on value proposition, you should see that, okay, what value you are offering to customers, but how customer is perceiving it and whether it makes sense to them, right? So in any business, the business value proposition is very important. So what you offer to customer and what customer perceive this as a value, right? So this example was only to highlight what is a value proposition, right? So if you are offering a new product, no, it should be absolutely innovative and disruptive. But if you are offering which is already exists in the market, it should stand out with a new feature or with new attribute. That means there has to be a very clear-cut, distinguished differentiator between the two. So value proposition can be either in terms of a quantitative, that means in terms of a price or in terms of a speed, if it is a internet, or in terms of a service, or qualitative, that means customer experience. So these are the very important aspect of value proposition. So without value proposition, sometimes the business fails. So most of the time, the one of the reason for business failure is not giving a good value proposition or not offering a great value proposition. So, so this is the fifth block of our business model canvas. This is how we connect the value proposition block as shown in the figure, and this become the block number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One is a customer, second is a distribution channel, third one is a revenue model, fourth one is the customer relationship, and the fifth one is value proposition, right? So again, if you go back to our basics, how our business model will look, this how the business model will look: customer segment, revenue, channels, customer relation, value proposition, right? Right. Now we go to the business side, and there the first block is key activities. For any business in general, suppose if we define a business, there are three major key activities in business. One is making, another selling, and third supporting, right? So making means what? It includes manufacturing, it includes designing, developing, and delivering. Selling includes advertising, promoting, maybe education of your customers or training of your customers about your product, about your service. And supporting means all kind of admin work, whether hiring people or HR related welfare activities or support or anything to support all the activities or support everyone who are involved in business directly. So these are the three activities. So what I have mentioned, this is just a summary of this, the what key activities our value proposition require. I suppose if you have to deliver our value proposition, promise value proposition, what activities are the most important? is in distributing channel or customer relationships or revenue stream, what activities we are going to do. And this is how we connect the sixth block, which is known as a uh, key activities, right? So these activities are crucial for creating and delivering the value and reaching to the markets, maintaining customer relationship and earning the revenue. Now, next block, if we have to see, is key resources, right? So there are again four types of major resource in any business user. One is sorry, one is a human resource, another is physical resource, third one is a intellectual resource, and fourth one is a finance resource. Human resource means people. That means your people, whether you hire engineers, technician, accountant, administrators, scientists, nurses, doctors, architects, laborers, all are coming under human resources. Physical resources are the land, the building, the kind of warehouse you use, or any specialized facilities or equipment you use it. Intellectual are brands, technology, company developed process or methods or software or patents or copyrights. Those are all intellectual resource. And finances is cash, lines of credits, financial guarantees, borrowings, loans. Those are all financial resources. So for doing a business, these are the four kind of resources we are going to use it, right? So you have to find out what are the business resources you are going to use for your business, and then that become your seventh block of your business. So this is how we connect the resources, right? And these resources enable company to create and offer a value proposition, reach to the market, maintain a relationship with customer segment, and earn revenue, right? So they can be physical, or it can be intellectual, or that can be human, or that can be financial. Now, next comes a cost structure. So cost structure is means for acquiring key resources, performing key activities, and working with key partners with all incurable cost. And that cost structure defines all the costs, expenses that a business incur while operating under its current business model, right? So those are all kind of cost. What that could be a salary cost, that could be a rent cost, that could be a buying a raw material cost or processing or machining. So all the cost which you have to manufacture your product or develop a service, all the cost, even the consultation cost, accountancy cost, or the lawyer cost or consulting, all these costs will come into this entry. So once you understand this cost structure, then this comes under this edge block that become a cost structures. And the last block of this is how we connect. And the last block of this is a key partner. So who are the key partners? Key partners are those external resources that you need to use for performing key activities, which are necessary for your business to do those activities, and which are not going to perform by you. That means those activities are necessary, but you are not going to perform. You are going to outsource or you get help from outside people, but it is necessary for your business to run your organization. So who are those kind of things? Those can be as suppliers or vendors, those people who provide essential raw material or components or service necessary for your product, or distributors or retailers, or that those could be a technology partners. That means company that provide the technology necessary for your product or service. Could be R&D, or could be some kind of technology startups or cloud service providers. Those will be the. Then there will be a strategic alliances. That means you do a partnership with the firms where both party, you agree to share the resources to help each other's businesses. So those are the strategic partner. That means you do some kind of JV or some kind of contractual technology transfer. Then there are people who provide you logistic. So company that handle the transportation or maybe a warehousing facilities or delivery of products. So those are the logistic services. Then there are certain specialized service providers like marketing agencies or maybe some legal firms or consulting firms. So those are the people who are the service providers. Then you need to have also a government liaising agency because some of the legal compliances you need to fulfill for your business. So you need to align and take the services of government agency. So these are the key partners for you, right? So this is the ninth block. This is how you connect the uh, key partners, and this how the finally it looks
Yeah.
like. So this has become a business model canvas. This is the right hand side is a customer side. This is a business side, and this is a value proposition, right? So Uh, do you remember I said there is a Venn diagram? We were talking about the desirability and feasibility and viability. Now you will understand the basic importance of that Venn diagram over here. This is our business model canvas. And here, this block, this block, and this block. That means we have divided into three blocks. So first block is desirability. That is a customer area is a desirability. Then how you make it, that is manufacturing, developing, or creating, is become a feasibility. And cost and revenue, that means the finance aspect of it is a viability financially, economical viable, right? So this is the basic overview of a business model canvas in terms of the customer, how you deliver value to the customer, and how you derive the value out of customers, what you serve, right? So now coming back to this again, our the Venn diagram, desirability is a customer, feasibility is how you deliver, viability is financial viability, right? Now, business model canvas, suppose if you are prepared, now we have prepared in terms of a manually, we have created a blocks manually, but there are various software tools are available for creating and managing business model canvas. Those are the model like Canvanizer is one of the tool which is available free, very simple. You can download and you can also use for your business. There is one more which is a strategizer. Again, it is available free. You can use it, download. And these two tools, Canvanizer and Strategizer, are very widely used and people are using. Most of the startup people are using. There is another tool called Miro. But this is not very popular. Little bit in Europe, people are using, but I think in our Asian people, most of people are using Canvanizer and Strategizer, right? Now, why business model canvas is useful, or what are the advantage of this, right? One is you can identify the resources, right? You can find the gaps. This will be it will make more sense when you really convert your business idea into your own business model canvas, and then you try to do the analysis of your business. Then you will find if there is a gap. It will find the gaps. It will give you that, oh, the interconnection between certain blocks are not very clear. So it helps you to find gaps. Uh, Most of the time, even your business model canvas is good enough for pitching your investor, because investor go through your single page business model canvas, and he will understand who are your customer, what are your distribution channel, what are your relationship with your customer, what value you offer, what are the resources and what are the key activities, and what is your cost and what is your revenue and what is the profitability. So that will give you a very clear idea. So this can be in a limited form, also can be used to pitch your investors, right? Again, because it is an ongoing and iterative kind of things, it drives innovation. That is working on a business model. It will help you to refine all your specific uncovered opportunities you can find out and see, oh, whether this is covered, whether this is addressed in the business model canvas. So you can add at later stage and you can modify and do a lot of iteration and your business model can be revised, right? It can also analyze your startup idea and also from the customer perspective. But apart from this, there are another thing is that it is very simple, very clear. So it gives a lot of clarity and simplicity. It also gives an alignment with the activities of different parts of an organization. It is flexible. That means you just have a one business model and you can modify, alter, and change, and your business model become a new one. It will also create some kind of collaboration. It encourages collaboration among your team members or providing a share or visual references. So everybody comes on the same page and you have a very meaningful discussion, and it will help in decision making. And finally, it gives a very holistic view. It offers a comprehensive overview of how all the elements, essential elements of a business fit together. So this is how the advantage of this. Business model canvas also lacks certain things. It doesn't talk about your competitors. It doesn't talk about your market analysis. It doesn't talk about your brand mission. It doesn't talk about risk. But once you make a business model, it's a basic thing. At that time, you are still not talking about your competitors. That time, you are still not talking about what is your market analysis. Then further, the business model can further expanded and extended to another six more blocks where risk, competitors, and your market analysis and brand building, everything comes into picture. But this basic business model canvas is good enough for any startup companies or even a mid-size or MSME kind of things where you can uh, describe or when you can define every building blocks of your startups, and that gives a very clear idea about this. Now, I have taken a three examples of case studies where we will see what those building blocks really looks like. I have taken one is a coffee shop, another could be a restaurant, and another is a boutique, right? So coffee shop, suppose if I say customer segments, that coffee enthusiasts or remote workers or students or local residents, right? Those will be your customers. What is your value proposition? High quality, ethically sourced coffee in a cozy atmosphere, a focus on sustainability and community engagement. I mean, the same value proposition what we saw in tea shop. So this is value proposition. How are you going to reach to our customer through coffee shop? It could be physical store. You can have your own website. You can advertise on social media, maybe Instagram or maybe some delivery apps, right? What kind of customer relationship will you develop? A personal service or loyalty program or community events you organize or social media engagement. So these are a different way of customer relationship you make. What is your revenue stream? Maybe coffee sales, or along with coffee, you serve a small snacks also, some kind of sandwiches. You can also use a merchandise, maybe a very limited edition mugs or coffee beans, or maybe you can do event hosting. So this could be your revenue streams. Then what could be your key resources? Of course, coffee beans, maybe espresso machines, maybe baristas and storefront, and maybe a software POS, point of sale. Then what are the key activities you are going to do? Brewing coffee, managing staff, marketing, promotions, managing customer relation, and maintaining equipment. These are the key activities what as a coffee shop you will do. What is your key partnership? Okay, coffee bean supplier would be one of your partner. Then equipment manufacturer, that means the coffee machine who supplies, they can be your one of the partners. Then through which through whom you do the marketing, could be marketing agency will be one of your partner. Then local farmers for the milk or something, or maybe some organic product. So these are your key partners, right? So this is a coffee shop. This is just a broad idea that how are you going to define in each building blocks and what could be. So it will make you think when you try to convert your ideas into a business model canvas, you can, you can divide like this, and then you try to write as many things in that, and then you analyze whether it is perfectly working or not. And what are your cost structure in that? Maybe a rent. Suppose if your barista or a coffee shop is a rental place, then rent is one of the costs. Maybe coffee beans you purchase, that could be one of the costs. Then equipment maintenance could be, then staff, then their salary could be, and then marketing expenditure. So this is one business model canvas, 9 blocks for the coffee shop. Suppose if you go for a restaurant, then who are your customer segment? Maybe your families or food lovers, or maybe working professional, or maybe tourists. Those can be your customers. What is their value proposition? You provide a fresh, locally sourced food with a unique twist or whatever, I mean, taste kind of thing, and catering both dining facility as well as delivery. So these are your value proposition. What are your channels? Maybe restaurant website or delivery apps or maybe social media. Most of the things will common for this kind of businesses. What is your customer relationship you build? uh, you are giving a very attentive service to them, maybe a personalized dining experience you give, maybe some kind of online engagement. You try to get a feedback form and you get their anniversary date or birthday date, and then you try to send them a birthday message or anniversary message. This is how you develop a customer relation. Then what is their revenue stream? Okay, dining and delivery charges, food sales, and suppose if they host a special event, some kind of festival, food festival in there. So this is how the revenue comes from. Then what are the key resources? Okay, chef will be one of that. The ingredients what you use, then the space restaurant where the restaurant is located, the kitchen equipment, all those things will be resources. Then what are the activities? Of course, preparing and serving the food, managing inventory, training of the staff. That could be marketing. Those are the key activities of the restaurant. Who are the partners? Food suppliers, delivery service providers, or maybe kitchen equipment vendors or chef. Those are all partners. Suppose if you use a cloud kitchen, maybe those could be one of your partners. Then cost structures. Suppose if it is in a rental place, then rent of the place, then food ingredients you are going to buy, then staff salaries, then the utilities what you are going to use, or marketing expenditure. So this could be your cost structure for that. Now suppose if it boutique kind of things, right? So precious conscious individuals could be one of your customer, eco-friendly consumers, or young professional. Those will be your customer for boutique. What is the value proposition? That you will give a unique handcrafted clothing accessory with a focus on sustainable. Nowadays, sustainable become a very important aspect of it. For everything, sustainability is very important. And you offer exclusive design which is not available anywhere in marketplace. What are your channels? Through Instagram or social media, or online store, or maybe you have a physical boutique. What is your relation with customers? That means you give a personalized service, you give a loyalty rewards, or you give a fashion advices, or you give a online support, or a very unique design kind of thing. So the people feel, one of kind of thing. That means people feel themselves differentiated when they go for some kind of wedding or some kind of event. They look totally exclusive. What is their revenue streams? Could be clothing and accessory sales, what they do it, online sales from marketplace, what they do, then customized orders or some kind of workshop they held. That is how it is. Key resources is they need designers, of course, they need materials, they need store space where they try to display or stock everything. Then could be online platform. They are the resources. Then key activities. Their designing is one of the key activities, and manufacturing, creating, marketing, and managing customer relationship is one of the activity. Key partnership with, of course, fashion designers and fabric suppliers, online platform and marketplaces, and local artisans. That is also their partners. And cost structure could be a fabric cost or store rent or maybe labor or marketing or the tailors, whatever they hire. So their salary, their charges could be cost structures. So this is in little simpler way. I have broken down the business model 9 blocks in a very easy to understand. It's basically a very involved subject. Every block can go for one session, like customer segments or value proposition. Value proposition itself is a big subject where the failure and success of every business, hinge on that. But because you people are now aspiring entrepreneur and starting your business or the startups, I thought that in a simpler way, if I give you an idea about the business model, at least your idea you can start thinking and try to put align those ideas and your concept into this model, and you try to fill out the business 9 blocks of this business model, and then you will find whether you find any gap or there is continuity or discontinuity in this, right? So this is what it is. Uh, this was my first book, which I launched last uh, December, which normally covers the hurdles of the budding or the aspiring entrepreneurs, what startup hurdle they face. So that is this book is all about. And this is the second book, which is coming in next month. It is publishing in the mid of the next December mid. It will be available on all marketplace. And this book is more about the critical areas that every entrepreneurs must master to ensure the startup growth and stability. It's like a founder's framework. This entire book is made up of different kind of framework. So it is like a template, right? So I'm open for any kind of questions, or if you have any difficulty or some of the portion which is not uh, very clearly understood.
Yeah, guys.
It's a bit,
Questions.
it's a bit, it's a bit involved subject. Business model canvas uh, is little bit unfair to simplify in such a simpler manner. But uh, I just wanted to give you an overview how the business model is made up of and what are the 9 building blocks. And then you can refer, a lot of books are there on business model canvas, and you get more information about that. But my basic idea was that uh, you have all your ideas for your business and your startup. At least try to create and try to translate your ideas and your concept into a business model canvas by yourself, and see whether every blocks you have something to put in, or there are certain blocks which is you are not very clear about this. So that will give you an idea that you need to revisit the concept or idea about the startup. That was only basic idea of this. I made it very simple in a very simpler form. So at least it kindle some kind of thought process, how the business model canvas is created and what is the business model canvas is all about.
Yes. Ask.
Hi, sir. Thanks for a wonderful session. Vinay, and I'm running a startup
Yeah.
called Tessin. Yeah, hi, sir. So I'm running a tech company, like SaaS startup in the education industry. Sometimes most of the investors, most of the founders feel that there's no direct competition exists right now in the market. Number one. Number two is sometimes might be where we are more ahead of the time, or the market is not that ready when it comes to the domestic territory, but the abroad or the foreign market is already having those kind of technology, and like anything, how we should approach the investors while making this canvas, and how we will make them understand that, see, there is no direct competition as of now in the market, but if we are not able to take opportunity to be of a fast mover in the market, definitely the other person might take the opportunity on, like, instead of us. So how we should address this particular problem in this business model canvas?
Uh, Fine, good, very good question actually. Uh, See, it is little bit uh, incorrect thinking that we, for any kind of business or any kind of ideas, there is no competition, because most of the time what happen, our awareness and our know-how is not broad enough to really be dive deep into the market. Who are the players available in this? So my first suggestion, because I work with a lot of startup companies and I also witness a lot of startup pitches. Uh, we should, whether we know whether there is competitor or not, we should go with that. Suppose today there is no competition, but tomorrow when I launch my idea or my concept, there will be somebody who is having a little stronger muscle, little bigger than me. He will enter into this market, and within no time, I will have a lot of competitors, maybe couple of competitors, and he or she or somebody will do exactly the same way or better than me. So that is one thing. So as a founder, you should keep it in mind. There is always a competition. There is always a competition, right? Now, coming back to the investor point of view. See, investors, they basically, it is very difficult for them to digest the fact that you are having idea which is quite unique, and only it has not dawned on you, and there is nobody who is doing a similar thing or who has not done this before, and this is the most viable, feasible idea. So, investor, when you pitch it, right? I would say that you simply say that this is what we feel that we are unique in this case, but there may be certain people who are in a different segment of the market who could be doing the similar things this way or the other way, which I'm not quite aware of it, right? But as far as my knowledge is concerned, I feel my idea is unique and the way I'm trying to do is a unique way. So you consider that this is one of the way which we do it. There will be some people who will do the same thing in a different way also. So when you pitch to investor, you don't try to be a project yourself that you are the only guy or you are the only company who has understood this concept and who want to do or who want to work on this, right? Because those kind of statements in a pitch or those kind of slides, that puts off the investor, because the investor thinks that always for everything there is somebody in the world, some corner of the world, who has already tried this or who is already trying this or who is already doing this, right? So when you uh, approach an investor, go with a very open kind of approach that, to my knowledge, there is nobody, but I'm sure there will be who will be doing the same thing. Maybe not the same way, maybe similar way, but I feel my way is slightly unique. Unless I come to know later on my journey that, oh, there are some better way to do this, but I feel this is my better way. So the investor thinks that you are very positive, you are adaptable, and you are ready to become vulnerable. That means tomorrow, if somebody comes in a market in a similar field, exactly in the same capacity or higher than you are ready to get adapted and you are accepting the fact that market would be full of competitors and I will find similar kind of person higher than me or bigger than me. I hope
Thank you, sir.
I could answer your question.
Yes, sir. I got your answer. Thank you, sir.
May I?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is Abhineet, sir, Abhineet Chauhan.
Yeah.
So can you just pull out on the deck where the entire presentation, like the entire canvas was there? Can you get to that particular slide if you don't mind?
9 blocks. 9 blocks.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait, I have to exit. No, wait. This one?
Exactly. So, according to you, in your opinion, out of all these 9 blocks, which one should be filled in as per your assumptions and which one should be having concrete data backed entries?
Very good question. Very good question. See, now again, let's go back to this. The customer segment, when you are in a development stage, hey, I have lost. Okay, I lost actually every. See, customer segment, when you are starting, that time you assume that those people will be your customers, right?
Mhm.
So customer will be one of the assumption, right?
All right.
Then the revenue again is an anticipated cost what you are going to incur. Then you put a margin or you can put the markup, and then you think that this could be my selling price, right? So those also can be an assumption. But the value proposition, what you are going to offer, it should be absolutely data backed up. That means you should know what value you are going to offer. That cannot be on assumption. You should be very clear what your product is going to give value, how your product will become a differentiator for your customer, and this is the point on which I will score with my customer or with my competitor, right?
Okay.
Resources also to some extent, is like a fixed one, because you want to know these are the activities which I'm going to do it, so these are the resources when I'm going to use it. So those can be an assumption based. But value proposition, the assumption on the cost and the revenue also could be on a projection base. Those are the things you should go on a data basis. You cannot just give an assumption, because otherwise there is no concrete base on which you can create
Right.
value proposition. Even the market survey what you do for the customer segment or a product or service, that should have a concrete database. That means you have to take all the decision or the strategy. It should be a database system.
Makes sense.
I'm not sure whether I have answered.
To be very frank, 70%, but that's enough, I believe.
Okay. What is lacking? Please let me know what is lacking actually.
Like, for example, all I was trying to figure out was at certain spaces over here, it said that either you become cynical or you become astronomical. Like when you customer segment, you say that 1% लेना, total gentry का आपका target audience 0.1% लेना. Be cynical. In certain areas, you are supposed to be very astronomical. कि अरे डालो ना, number डालो. जितना ज़्यादा होगा उतना अच्छा दिखेगा. Right? जैसे for example, when you are pitching to someone, they would say कि अरे इतना ज़्यादा कैसे convert कर लोगे आप? Bring the numbers down. But at certain points, that becomes like you cannot be cynical or you cannot be very conservative in all the sections, right?
See, अगर आप initially customer segment or target customer segment, if you add more value means numbers, and once you
Right.
start, suppose if you don't get traction for your product or for your service, that will clearly define that the number what you anticipated, what you assume was not in sync with the traction what you are getting.
Right,
Because
absolutely.
when you pitch to your investors, see, investor will come into picture only when your startup has come to a certain level, and when you have really established something and now you need funding for scaling up. At that time, the customer, what you say, project or the market, we call as a TAM, SAM, addressable market and the serviceable market. Suppose if you
Serviceable market.
show a big number over there, big number, but if you don't get the traction enough in comparison, in proportion, it shows that your the target addressable market, that figure was not realistic.
Right.
So that has to be based on certain survey, certain like e-commerce business you start. You do a lot of survey for your kind of customers. Otherwise, e-commerce will not survive because there the TAM, SAM, and those things comes into picture. Otherwise, you think that there is a big customer market and this is my revenue, this is how. But if the traction you don't get it, it doesn't work.
True. Perfect.
Right?
Makes sense. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Sure.
Akhilesh Desai from Ajivika Mobility. As the entire building block, the business building block is on the basis of the customer, because customer is the core to the entire business, right? So talking
True.
about the customer segmentation, so like if in case we are into a service business, which for us, we might be thinking that it is a mass appealing service that we can offer to each and every person, right? So what could be the better strategy for a startup, whether to go for a mass service or create a niche out of that entire customer segment and create a niche for ourselves?
See, again, I don't know exactly. If you have a niche product, for example, a service sector. Suppose if you go to some kind of insurance kind of business and particular, maybe a travel insurance or something. Slowly from mass, you have come to a niche. The people who are traveling abroad or traveling, those people only will go for a insurance kind of thing. Other people will not go for it. So it depends upon whether your service, what you are providing to a customer, are you also focusing on a niche customer base or it is a mass customer base? So service provider, see mass, that means suppose if I say general insurance, right? I provide everything. I provide life insurance. I provide personal accident insurance. I provide traveling insurance. I provide health insurance. Everybody. Suppose all these things are in your basket and your startup is doing like a policy budget, right? So they are catering to the mass. That means the person who log into their website can be a person who is looking for health insurance, can be looking for car or bike insurance, can be a house insurance, fire insurance, or a travel insurance, those kind of things. So those are the mass. But suppose if you identify yourself that I am providing a service to my niche market segment, then you become a niche service provider. It depends upon your product, whether you are considering to a mass, that means your service is applicable to everyone. On a larger demographic area, that means young people, old people, middle-aged people, male, female, demographic area from rural, urban, big city, small city, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, all, or you are just focusing on certain age group, certain gender bias, or maybe some certain things. So it depends upon your service. But
So,
once you
in
go to a
terms of-
niche market,
Yeah, please.
once you go to niche, once you go to the niche market, what will happen? Your market become narrow, your focus become narrow, right? So anything happens there, it affects you on large. If it happens good, it affects you on a larger scale. If it is not happening good, it also affects you on a larger extent. Because niche market where everything is very small quantity in a very small proportion. But if everything grows well, you grow very fast. If something falls, maybe you fall fast. Yeah, you were telling something.
So for a startup, when the startup is in very early stage of traction, though I might be thinking that my services is applicable to each and everyone. So, but I may not be having the resources which are required to reach out to all that mass public.
True.
So,
True.
what would be your advice? Like, do we create a niche, sample customer base where we can actually showcase that, okay, our services are doing this value to the customer segment, and then build upon that and reach out to the masses once we have quite good deep pockets?
If I'm in your place and suppose if I am making a service, I would try to make it a general kind of
Okay.
service that is for mass, but I will do it in a very small pocket.
All right. Out of
Where,
that customer segment, we choose some things which we can address.
yeah, but I offer in a very small segment where I am reachable.
Okay.
That means I am visible to my customer and my customer is visible to me very closely. That means if anything happening to my customer, I'm available, I'm reachable, they are reachable to me. Then slowly I expand my area. And once I expand my area, I keep on monitoring and doing survey. If there are a certain segment of the market which is a niche, which I can pull it out, and then I put it in a niche market. But generally start, because you don't know who are your customers. So go on a mass scale, on a larger scale, but operate in a very small thing. Because what will happen, suppose if you operate in a bigger thing, and suppose if you fail on a customer support or a service, it creates a very big, setback or a bad reputation or bad image. Better to go small way, do it, serve every customer, be visible to every customer. Every customer should visible to you, so you know what's happening at their end, and that will be a more personalized attention that will bring referrals from your existing customer, and that will help you to grow your market. If I'm in your
Understand.
place, I would take this approach.
Thank you, sir.
See, I started my startup journey somewhere in 2003. I did 6 startups, and all the 6 times I failed miserably, because first time I was ahead of time. It was not required, because I think I'm a technocrat. I know subject very well, so I will make something which is great, but it was not sellable. Second time, team was not good. I did not have a team. Most of the thing I was doing. Third time, I did not have a co-founder. That means everything I was doing. So again failed. Fourth time, I did not have a finance. Scaling up was a problem. So then I did not again went into a startup. If I would have, tried one more time, maybe I would have succeeded. But I decided to gather all these experiences of failure and my learnings. And I thought that if I make one startup successful, then I will be available or good at only one kind of field. But suppose if I use my knowledge and I work with say 50, 60, 100 startup, then my learning will be much better and my experience and expertise will be useful to maybe more people. So that's why I opt, instead of becoming an entrepreneur, I become a business coach.
Businessman.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions?
There.
Okay.
Nitin, sir.
You need to come forward because the mic.
भाई क्या है कहाँ रखा है
Afternoon, sir. Sir,
Good afternoon.
myself Shivam. सर बेसिकली मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सर, जैसे कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं वो बहुत एंथुजियास्ट मार्केट के लिए होते हैं, लाइक एग्जांपल हम ले ले पीसी बिल्डिंग, सब तो नहीं कर सकते हैं बट कुछ लोग करते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा एंथुजियास्ट होते हैं उसके बारे में। सर एक और एग्जांपल दूं ईयरबड्स का, सर मैंने पहले ईयरबड्स खरीदे थे तब लाइक बहुत ही कम लोग ले रहे थे, एंड अब कुछ कंपनी आ गई बोर्ड की तरह, उन्होंने ऐसा उसको ग्रो किया कि लाइक एवरी कॉमन पीपल 1000 के 999 के आ रहे हैं। तो सर मेरा प्रोडक्ट कुछ ऐसे ही है जो कि एंथुजियास्ट पीपल बहुत ज्यादा उस पर इंटरेस्टेड है, पैसा लगा सकते हैं, बट मुझे उसको ग्रो करना है, मुझे लाइक एक सेक्टर पे नहीं रहना है। तो वो चीज मैं कैसे अचीव कर सकता हूँ कि उस एंथुजियास्ट मार्केट को बड़े स्केल पे लेके जा सकूं? दिस इज माय मेन क्वेश्चन, लाइक एडवाइस चाहिए मुझे।
वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन,
नॉट क्वेश्चन।
वेरी गुड। सी, एंथुजियास्ट मार्केट का एक प्लस पॉइंट ऐसा है कि अगर आपकी प्रोडक्ट चल गई या सक्सेसफुल हो गई तो लार्ज क्वांटिटी में, लार्ज मास में वो हो जाएगा। बट वन थिंग you should see, when you start a business, you should also understand and learn about the customer behavior. Customer behavior pattern has to be understood. ये enthusiast market या जो youngster या जो भी people है, जितना जल्दी किसी चीज में इंटरेस्ट दिखाते हैं या डेवलप करते हैं, उतनी जल्दी उसमें से निकल जाते हैं। So enthusiast market goes up very quickly, rapidly, but it falls down also equally fast, maybe a faster rate than the growth rate. तो enthusiast market में अगर जाना है तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, एक प्रोडक्ट पे नहीं रहना पड़ेगा। जब एक प्रोडक्ट मैंने लॉन्च किया, वो चल रहा है, जब वो अभी डिक्लाइन मोड पे आने से पहले आपको दूसरा प्रोडक्ट बनाना पड़ेगा जो उसके सामने पैरेलली लॉन्च करना पड़ेगा। जब वो डिक्लाइन होगा तो ये आप होगा। दैट मीन्स यू हैव टू बी क्रिएटिव ऑल द टाइम, every time, every 6 months, every 8 months, maybe every 1 year, you have to bring a new product, and आपको वो enthusiast लोगों को उनका जो इंटरेस्ट है, जो आपके प्लेटफॉर्म पे आए हैं, उनका इंटरेस्ट बरकरार रखना पड़ेगा, और एक प्रोडक्ट के बाद दूसरा, दूसरा के बाद तीसरा, ऐसा देना पड़ेगा। तो ही, वरना आजकल लॉयलिटी जैसा कुछ चीज है नहीं, लोग इमीडिएटली यू टर्न ले लेते हैं। तो अगर एंथुसियास्ट मार्केट दिखता है बहुत अट्रैक्टिव, बट इट इज वेरी रिस्की। वो जितनी जल्दी ऊपर जाता है उतनी जल्दी गिर जाता है। अगर आप बोट का भी देखोगे, वो लोग कितना नया 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 चीज लाते ही रहता है, या तो फीचर लाते, अपीयरेंस लाते, बैंडविड्थ लाते, ये सब लाना पड़ता है। आपको हर बार कस्टमर को कुछ नया देना पड़ेगा। आप बोलेंगे यही चीज मैं 6 महीना, 8 महीना, 1 साल देते रहूंगा, तो फिर लोग नहीं है करेंगे। तो आप अगर जाते हो तो आपको क्रिएटिविटी ऐसा होना चाहिए कि आप हर 6 महीने, 4 महीने एक नया प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करो, और आप आपके कस्टमर के जहन में या दिमाग में हमेशा मतलब प्रेजेंस रहना पड़ेगा आपको, तो ही आपका होगा। एक प्रोडक्ट लाके काम नहीं चलेगा। आई होप
Okay,
आई
thank you,
आंसर्ड
sir.
योर क्वेश्चन।
Yes, sir. So actually, I have one more query. सर लाइक थोड़ा पर्सनल ओपिनियन टाइप का है कि जैसे कि आपने बताया कि आप एक टाइम स्टार्टअप बना रहे थे एंड आप ही काम कर रहे थे, आपको टीम नहीं मिल रही थी। तो लाइक आई फील द सेम वे बिकॉज मैं एक टीयर 3 कॉलेज से हूँ, तो जो मेरे अराउंड बच्चे हम कुछ करना नहीं चाहते हैं, तो अगर जो मैं किसी के पास अप्रोच करता हूँ कि भाई मेरे साथ काम कर ले, तो दे आस्क फॉर मनी एट, अभी मैं उस स्टेज में हूँ कि मैं उनको पे नहीं कर सकता हूँ एंड आई डोंट गेट लाइक द टैलेंट टू डू दिस जॉब बिकॉज लाइक आई एम माई सेल्फ अ वेरी टेकी पर्सन, सो आई जस्ट गो फॉर द लाइक टॉप थिंग एट द, जो भी है हमें क्रीमी लेयर चाहिए तो मैं वो ढूंढता हूँ। तो अभी लाइक अगर जो मैं इस स्टेज में हूँ, आप मेरी जगह होते तो आप क्या करते टैलेंट एक्विजिशन को लेके? क्या आप कुछ ऐसे बच्चों को पकड़ते जाए जो करना चाहते हैं, उनको ग्राउंड अप से बिल्ड करते, या फिर कुछ दूसरा अप्रोच?
मैं अभी अगर मेरे वक्त की बात करूं तो हमारे वक्त में इतना टैलेंट इतना इजीली अवेलेबल नहीं था, राइट। हम लोग सब अ, ऐसे लोग जहाँ से इंजीनियर बन के आए थे कि सबका फैमिली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बहुत हाई था। सो हर आदमी एक बार कॉलेज से पास होके ऐसी जॉब करना चाहता था कि उसको इनफ सैलरी या इनफ पैसा मिले जो उसके घर में सपोर्ट कर सके। Now today's situation is this, that most of the people start earning money right from their college days. They are doing certain things other. और अभी talent at fresh level has more exposure, more knowledge and more resources available to them. So मेरे ख्याल से अगर आप एकदम क्रीम टैलेंट के ऊपर भी ज्यादा फोकस ना करके अगर आप फ्रेश लोगों को भी लेंगे, तो मेरे ख्याल से आपका काम चल जाना चाहिए, बिकॉज दोज पीपल आर coming with very good ideas, very good concept, sometimes out of box kind of thinking. तो और वो कभी-कभी इतने एंथुसियास्ट होते हैं कि वो पैसे को ज्यादा अहमियत नहीं देते, उनको कुछ करना है, उनको किसी को चांस देना है कि मैं ये कर सकूं। तो ऐसे लोग टैलेंटेड, अगर आप फ्रेशर या मतलब जो अभी कॉलेज से फ्रेश बाहर आए, तो दे दोज पीपल विल बी अ गुड टीम मेंबर फॉर यू। आप जरूरी नहीं है कि आप हाई मतलब क्रीम लेवल के, उतनी लेवल पर स्टार्टअप आना चाहिए जब आप कोई क्रीम लोगों को अफोर्ड कर सको। तो थोड़ा मुश्किल है मतलब, बट टीम बिल्डिंग मेरे ख्याल से जेन्युइनली और मॉडेस्टली करोगे तो वही लोग आपके साथ काम करते करते वो टैलेंट में आगे निकलेंगे। इट्स ऑल एक्सपीरियंस, एक्सपोजर एंड दोस थिंग्स विल हेल्प।
थैंक यू सो मच सर।
Nitin sir, I think it was really a splendid session. And the way you explained about the 9 blocks, I am definitely sure that they are going to go back and apply this to their business plan that they have. And they will be rethinking the value proposition and the other blocks that you mentioned. What are the important factors? Those things they will apply that. And I'm sure that this is definitely going to help them. And if you need any help, sir will be available. You can reach out to him and get his ideas and thoughts. I mean, like he's an experienced person and a great mentor, so we can learn more from. Thank you so very much for your valuable time, and really appreciate
you.
your session.
In their entrepreneurial journey, suppose if you need any guidance, or if you have already you made a pitch or something, or maybe a startup concept or something, and you want somebody to assess this, whether this will work or this will go ahead, or whether this is okay or not okay. I mean, you can reach to me. People can follow me on LinkedIn. There are a lot of people who are following me on LinkedIn. You can just give me a message there. Maybe I will share my email ID also there. You can come. I'm working with a lot of IITians nowadays for their startup entrepreneurships sale. So you can, write to me without any kind of hesitation. I will, whatever best way I can help out, I will help. I have a small hesitation.
Yes.
This is my first webinar.
Okay.
I have never done a webinar. So
Sessions
मुझे क्या
face to face, yeah.
मुझे वो आई कांटेक्ट जब तक नहीं हो रहा है ना तो मतलब
Feel
वो
satisfied.
कंटिन्यूटी नहीं आती है.
नहीं
And
आती.
then I get lost. I get blank quite often. When I'm having a personal session, it is much better. ये webinar कैसा है कि I'm talking to an empty room kind of things. This is not. So मैं बहुत बार lost हो जाता हूँ. मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है और ये स्लाइड बोलते स्लाइड को हिलाना वो भी एक बहुत टीडियस काम है. तो वो भी एक मुश्किल है. कभी आगे निकल जाता हूँ, कभी पीछे निकल जाता हूँ. तो ये थोड़ा मुश्किल है. ये मेरा ड्रॉबैक है. तो ये मेरा सेशन एब्सोल्युटली बिलो एवरेज हो गया क्योंकि मैं वेबिनार फर्स्ट टाइम कर रहा हूँ. मैंने कभी वेबिनार किया नहीं है तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आता कैसे होना चाहिए. तो एक बार कभी डायस पे खड़े हो जाएंगे तो क्या है कि आप फ्री फ्लो हो जाते हो, आराम से सब बोल सकते हो सब कुछ.
We never felt it as your first webinar.
नो इट इज द फर्स्ट टाइम. मुझे कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा था. बीच बीच में मैं भूल गया क्या कहने का था क्या पता.
Students, we say like, yeah.
No, we never felt even for our first webinar. We're absolutely awesome.
नहीं. तो फिर आपने कभी ऐसे वॉइस परफॉर्मेंस देखी नहीं इसलिए. इससे कभी वर्स परफॉर्मेंस देखी नहीं इसलिए आप ऐसा बता रहे हैं. ठीक है. चलो.
No. It was really great and absolutely we loved it.
एंड सेकंड थिंग मैम, आपने टीम्स बताया. मैंने टीम्स भी आज पहली बार यूज किया. मैं कभी टीम्स यूज नहीं करता हूँ. तो पहले जो लेआउट है वो इटसेल्फ इज सो अनफेमिलियर टू मी. तो वो एक प्रॉब्लम है. नॉर्मली आई डू इट ऑन जूम. सो मैं जूम पे करता हूँ. तो ये टीम्स बोले तो मैं वही कंफ्यूज हो गया. मुझे बहुत सारे कंट्रोल समझ में नहीं आए कहाँ से क्या करना है. तो दिस आर द प्लेस. तो एनीवे, bullshit mask. I did lot of.
You've worded.
So it was really a pleasure listening to you and talking to you. And I believe. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
See you soon in the next session. Yeah.
अभी वेबिनार मत करो.
नहीं अभी
तो इससे और खराब हो जाएगा नेक्स्ट. तो
okay, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Yes.